Welcome, Nick Cicale from Avangrid to Go Taskers Tools for Construction today. How you doing today, Nick?
Doing great. Thank you for having me, Frank.
Thank you for being here with us. Nick, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Avangrid? I mean, I know a little bit about it just because of being in the construction industry, but tell people a little bit about who you guys are, everything about you.
Certainly. So Avangrid is the U.S. affiliate of a global energy company called Iberdrola. And Avangrid, over the past 5 years, merged with UIL, the United Illuminating Company and Southern Connecticut Gas Company and Connecticut Natural Gas Company here in Connecticut. And so Avangrid has a local presence to Connecticut and to New Haven and Fairfield counties. And we work with other electric gas affiliates across New England and New York, and also build wind and solar projects across the country, both offshore and onshore.
Great, thanks. So tell us how, you guys are such a big company. How has this pandemic affected you guys, overall as a business and the way you do business today?
It's kept some of us from the office for certain, and it has certainly spaced out our ability to work together. For those people working in trucks that are maintaining electrical infrastructure, keeping the lights on, doing repairs to the system, whether it's electric or gas. We may have one person to a truck. Social distancing on job sites, whether it's new builds or repairs, is a necessity. We're also doing social distancing in our electric control centers and other various forms of equipment, and monitoring those generation projects and transmission projects throughout the country. So it's critical to our customers, to our employees, that their safety is ensured during this time, and that we're able to support the community and keep the lights on and the gas and heat on.
Sure. Yeah, you guys are important. What are some of the biggest challenges you guys have had to overcome, and how did you do it?
Some of the biggest challenges is just, for us, it's just been making those necessary adjustments to ensure that we have the proper controls and procedures in place to do everything safely. And our crews are used to implementing safety practices. And so it's just been minor adjustments to ensure that we have enough resources and enough equipment to allow everyone to do their work and get their work done in a timely fashion to the expectations of the customers, and to ensure that the system maintains its reliability.
Okay, where do you, again, you're looking at it from a much different place than most of our panelists today, small business owners. You guys are a big company. Where do you see Connecticut in 2020, 2021? And I know that's a little bit of a loaded question for you, but what is your sense?
Well, we see Connecticut coming back alive in this latter half of 2020. It's probably going to be a slow, gradual process. Our company will ensure that that customers and other companies have the utility services they need to get up and running, and the support they need to do so. We're very hopeful that Connecticut will be able to come back, and that our economy can sustain the blows that this unfortunate incident has dealt us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about some of the positives. What are some of the positives you see coming out of this? Maybe directly related to you guys or things you've seen.
I think some of the greatest positives we're seeing, and that we expect to continue to see, is that clear communication with customers and others throughout the community on expectations, on safety, on what our company can do, what our employees can do to ensure that customers have what they need. And customers are not afraid to jump on the phone right now. They're looking for that in-person or at least virtual contact to know that everything's going to be okay and that they're going to have what they need. And so, whether it's directly with customers or coming from our state regulatory agencies or local administrations, that constant communication is a good thing, and we expect that to continue throughout this process.
That's great. Any advice you have out there for the construction industry and how to do business with you guys? What's the best way to approach you guys? Call, email. I mean, obviously there's a lot of gas that has to be put in or electrical. What's the best way to stay in contact with you guys and approach you guys?
I think reaching out to our best points of contact, whether it's on the electric or gas side, distribution or transmission, you know, don't be shy about placing the actual phone calls. The emails are good too. They're, you know, because of the climate we're in right now, I think everyone is getting more and more emails. So the response might be a little more delayed than it otherwise would be if this were not the case. But I think the phone call is best, and you know, even following up with an email after the phone call, if you have to leave a voicemail, is the best bet. But definitely reaching out to our people. They're very responsive and can be very helpful to ensure that the you know, there's not any lines crossed and that everyone has what they need to ensure that the projects can move along.
Great. Any advice or any good stories you want to share with everybody out there before we start wrapping it up?
Well, I think the best thing we're seeing is our company's ability to give back. You know, we've donated a lot of instances of personal protection equipment where we have found that we have a surplus to local officials and to hospitals, and also being there for first responders and hospital employees. And you know, we've donated a couple instances of some pizza and some meals to those folks, and keeping in close contact with our regulators to ensure that all of our customers have the utility services they need, even if they're unable to pay because of current economic conditions that may have affected them adversely. That's an important thing for us, that all customers are able to have the utility services they need during this time.
Yeah, that is important, giving back a little bit. Us here at Go Tasker also have partnered up with For Connecticut COVID-19 charity. So anybody who signs up for Go Tasker, 20% of our proceeds will go back to the charity, which I think it's important that we do now. Nick, thank you.